So this again is just going to be an overview of this information. And so when we talk about Dallas County Promise, it is a last dollar scholarship. So what that means is that it covers the cost of tuition after all your additional financial aid has been applied. And additionally, Dallas County Promise will also offer you a success coach or your student a success coach if they happen to attend Dallas College. And that success coach will also help them transition to any other of the partner colleges. We want to let you know that the Dallas County Promise does have financial support options for all Texas residents, regardless of citizenship status, GPA, or income. But I do want to go over some of the key terms that were in this slide. So when we talk about the tuition portion of Dallas County Promise, this is kind of a good visual for that. If you look here at a sample four-year university, this is showing you the total cost of attendance. So if you lived at home, the total cost would be $20,000 at this sample. On campus, $23,000, and then off campus, similar. What you'll notice is Dallas County Promise would only cover the cost of tuition. Anything else that's listed here in red, which is considered part of the cost of attendance, is not and cannot be covered by Dallas County Promise. And so again, just that cost of tuition is what Dallas County Promise covers. You can get other financial aid to help with these additional expenses, but we will discuss how that other financial aid would be applied in order for you to use the Dallas County Scholarship Funds. So the other thing we want to discuss is last dollar scholarship. When you're looking at your financial aid offers, any other free aid that you would receive, including grants right here or other scholarships, would apply before Promise College kicks in. So when you're looking at this student, student A, they receive some grants. That's going to go to their tuition. They received other scholarships. That's also going to go to their tuition. But if they just used those two funds, it would not cover the entire cost of their tuition. So Dallas County Promise comes in and fills in the gap or the last amount to cover tuition. What that also means is that you can't use those same grants or scholarships to cover any other cost of attendance, such as housing, books, and things like that. You would have to have a specific scholarship or other money that specifically stated that they were for housing or books in order for that money to not be used to tuition. Now, if we look at if you had a student that their financial aid covered the entire cost of tuition, they would not be using Promise Scholarship funds. They would still get the benefit of having the success coach and things like that, but they would not be receiving any financial aid that covered the cost of tuition. So when we're looking at Dallas County Promise, there are 3 steps your senior is going to need to do in order to be eligible for this program. The first step is to complete the pledge and apply to a partner college. The pledge can be accessed at dallascountypromise.org. And it's very simple. The pledge is just saying, hey, I want to participate. It is not a requirement that you're committing to anything. You're just saying, yes, I would like to be eligible to participate in Dallas County Promise. This is also where the Commit Partnership, which is Dallas County Promise, gets your information and says, okay, great, you're eligible as long as you attend Newman Smith High School, Early College High School, or R.L. Turner. In addition, the second step is you must apply to partner college. They will not know you want to attend if you don't apply. So please make sure that you are applying to a Dallas County Promise college. Those applications can be completed through Apply Texas, or they can be completed on the specific college's admission application page. The Promise Pledge opens September 1st. So from now through February 5th, your student can complete the pledge. This is probably an activity they are going to do as part of either their advisory or their AVID class at their high school. and it's not something that you as a parent necessarily need to participate in. So your student can complete the pledge on their own. The process takes approximately 10 minutes. And they will be shown a short video about how to complete the pledge and access the information. The second step is that your student must complete a financial aid application. We're going to talk about that in one of the later sessions, but they must submit either the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, or the TASFA, the Texas application for state financial aid. That must be completed by March 5th. Now, while March 5th is the deadline to submit that, the financial aid priority deadline, January 15th. So I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to submit this application before March 5th. The other reason is that financial aid is often awarded on a first come, first served basis. So the student who is accepted to the college and submits their financial aid gets first run at the pot of financial aid money at that institution. Last step is to enroll your senior year. So once you have done these steps and you decide, you know what, I think I want to attend a Dallas County Promise College, you just need to make sure you complete your enrollment and register for classes by July 30th. So there's a lot of time between now and then, and we will be here to assist your students during those steps. Please note at the bottom of this that it says that these dates are tentative. They have actually been finalized. So these dates have been finalized, and these are the deadline dates to participate in Dallas County Promise. So when we talk about the Promise offers, there are 3 different categories your student can fall in. The first category, which will mostly apply to students that are from Newman Smith High School and R.L. Turner High School, is they are students that are graduating with a high school diploma. This slide is going to list all of the partner colleges on the far left column. So when you're looking here, the partner colleges that you can apply to are Dallas College, Community College, UNT Dallas, Texas A&M University Commerce, Texas A&M Texarkana, Midwestern State University, or MSU, Texas Women's University, TWU, or Southern Methodist University, or SMU. Now, this chart is also available on the Dallas County Promise website, and it will tell you how much financial aid they're going to provide for you, okay? So the ones with the check provide full financial aid cover as far as tuition. So they will cover the gap for the cost of tuition. Texas A&M Commerce also one-time $500 incentive to be dispersed fall semester. So in addition to making sure you have coverage for your tuition, they give you a one-time incentive. That's also at Texas A&M University Texarkana. Texas Women's is separate in this, in that they only offer a one-time $500 incentive. So basically they give you a $500 scholarship or incentive bonus for attending their college, but there is no full tuition gap coverage. The other thing that I would like for you to take a look at is the target GPA. While Dallas College has no target GPA, which means if you apply to Dallas College, you can go. The rest of them, in order to be admitted to the college, you must meet their admission guidelines. So whatever their admission guidelines are based off of their website, that is what you're going to need to do. Lastly is the income requirements. So UNT Dallas and Dallas College have no income requirements. This particular gap coverage is available to any student that applies and gets accepted. A&M Texarkana, A&M Commerce, and Texas Women's University, the family income has to be less than or $50,000 or less to qualify for the Dallas County Promise. And then Midwestern State University just upped their family income to $65,000 or less. Additionally, if you look at this very last column on the right, you'll notice that the Promise scholarships are basically available until they run out, and they have never run out. So as long as you meet those deadlines, these dollars should be available to you. The exception with that is SMU. SMU offers a competitive scholarship, which requires you to apply, and they only offer 5. Those 5 are not offered just to your school. Those 5 are for anyone who applies that is a part of the Dallas County Promise program, which includes the 3 schools in CFB, schools in Dallas ISD, Grand Prairie ISD, Mesquite ISD. So just so you know, they are highly, highly competitive. So don't just say, oh, I'm going to go to SMU and use the Dallas County Promise. It's a longer application process in order to be able to do that. Now, if you are graduating with your associate's degree, so this would be more geared towards students who are graduating from early college, high school, these are the Promise scholarships offered to you. What you will notice is that there is no Dallas College. That is because you've already received your terminating degree there, so you cannot go back and use your Promise funds in order to, say, get a certificate program if you wanted to be an EMT or a fireman. It is available at all of the 4-year universities, and the list is similar. So it's going to be UNT Dallas, Texas University Commerce, Texarkana, MSU, Texas Women's, and SMU. Again, you'll notice that for the 4-year partners, you get full tuition coverage of the gap. There are one-time incentives offered at A&M Commerce and A&M Texarkana. Again, you would have to meet the admissions requirements for those 4-year universities, and the income requirements are the same as students graduating with just a high school diploma. $50,000 at A&M Commerce and A&M Texarkana, as well as Texas Women's University, and $65,000 at MSU. The difference here is that for SMU, there are 10 scholarships offered that are competitive. So you have to apply scholarships, but there are 10 scholarships offered as opposed to the 5 for the students that are just graduating with their high school diploma. Important deadlines that I want you to remember, and this is for all students that are entering a 4-year university for UNT Dallas or SMU. UNT Dallas has a lot of financial aid available, but their priority deadline is December 1st. So to be considered for institutional scholarships and the most financial aid, you need to be accepted to UNT Dallas and have your financial application submitted to them by December 1st. For SMU, if you want to try for one of their competitive scholarships, you must have all of the Dallas County Promise filled out. And in addition, you have to have your admissions application completed, your FAFSA or your TASFA, the CSS profile, which is another financial aid application through College Board, as well as an essay. And all of that must be submitted by January 15th, including your letters of recommendation. So these are just reminders that if you are interested in these 2 colleges, they do have some additional deadlines in order to maximize the amount of money that you can receive. Now, I'm going to briefly go over this transfer offer. This is for any student that wants to start at Dallas College and then continue to a 4-year university. You could still use that money to go to a 4-year university as part of the tuition coverage. So once you get your terminating degree at your Dallas College, which would be an Associates of Arts, Science, or maybe an Applied Associates of Science, then you can transfer to these 4-year universities. You would be coming in as a transfer student, so you do have a minimum GPA that you would have to have at Dallas College. The income requirements are still the same. So it's the $50,000 at A&M Commerce, Texas A&M, Texarkana, and TWU, and the $65,000 at Midwestern State University. You will notice that SMU is not a part of this. If you are interested in attending SMU, even as a transfer student from Dallas College, you must complete that application as a senior. However, there are additional transfer 4-year universities that are only eligible for transfer students. That's Prairie View A&M and Austin College. Limited scholarships, and your Dallas College advisor can help you with those when that time comes. So we want to discuss what the benefits are to you as a student participating as a Promise Scholar. You are guaranteed as a Promise Scholar who is a Texas resident to have some college option with your tuition covered. It might not be your first choice, but there will be a choice for you to get tuition covered at either a 2-year or a 4-year university. All means all. So when we're talking about Dallas Promise, all Texas residents at the 57 participating high schools, which include ECHS, Smith, and R.L. Turner, can participate in this program, including DACA, Dreamer, and undocumented students, regardless of your income or GPA, depending on the school. You get student support. So the Promise staff will be reaching out here proactively, sending them reminder text, hey, have you turned in this? Your deadline's coming up. And then they will also help you transition to your 4-year university or your 2-year university at Dallas College through emails, and then reminding you to check your portal and things like that. So it's another layer of support to make sure that you can reach your post-high school goals. One of the best benefits, I think, about Dallas County Promise is there's no obligation. Basically, by completing the pledge, you make yourself eligible to use this, but you don't have to decide to attend a partner college until July 30th. The benefit or the goal of Dallas County Promise is that they want to make sure you have access to college if financial barriers in your way. But they also want you to go to the best fit college for you. You might look at the Promise partner colleges and they might not have the major, or maybe you don't want school. That might not be the best fit for you. But if you've completed all the steps, all you did was make sure you got an option to choose a Dallas County Promise college. If you decide later on, you know what, I'm going to UT, to UTA, that's totally fine. You don't have to do anything, but just not register for that school. Lastly, if you complete the Dallas County Promise program, it automatically your application for the Dallas College Rising Star program. And what that allows you to do is get the cost of your books covered at Dallas College only. So if you go to the 2-year university and you complete the Promise Pledge, your application for the Rising Star Scholarship will be included in that. The Rising Star Scholarship does, however, have an income requirement and a GPA requirement because it is a competitive scholarship. Now, just for a second here, I'll stop sharing my screen and open up the chat for you guys so you can start chatting your questions, and then we'll continue with the presentation. Just a second, sorry here. Okay, that chat should be open for you now, so feel free to start putting your questions in there and we will make sure to leave time for those at the end. Sorry guys. So I just realized that we're at the end. So we can open up the chat. Mr. Enslow is going to be answering your questions directly in the chat window. If I see some popping up that there are a lot of, I will address them live. I do want you to leave these up for you. You can always go to the Dallas County Promise website. It has special links for both parents and students, so feel free to get information from there. Also, Dallas County Promise has created a new website called collegeworks.org. What that does is it allows you to look at up-and-coming fields that are in the Metroplex and what colleges and universities offer majors to support those.